this looks really meaty. But is this gonna fool someone into thinking it's steak? I'm conflicted. Hey, what's up everybody? It's your girl Merle, and today we are back with another fun vegan substitute. Today we are going to be making vegan steak out of wheat. Technically, it's Vital Wheat gluten. This recipe has been floating around the internet for a long time now. And in fact, this idea was inspired by many other videos where people have tried to perfect the perfect vegan steak. I'm gonna be totally upfront with you guys. I am considerably skeptical about this one, but I would love to be proven wrong. Let's do it. Basically what we're doing here is making a seitan, or seitan. You could say it either way. I think as long as you don't call it Satan, we're good. Seitan is not a new thing. It was originated centuries ago by vegetarian monks, and it was commonly found in China and Japan as a pretty popular meat substitute. It's what's gonna make our steak hopefully meaty. Okay, so I'm gonna start off by adding some veggie stock, a half a cup of white beans. I'm using some Great Northern beans. I've seen people use chickpeas too. 1 tablespoon of low sodium soy sauce. We're gonna do 2 healthy tablespoons of some nutritional yeast, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. I think it's important to have a sense of humor when you're making vegan versions of meat. I see a lot of people say, why would you call that steak? It's not steak. I get it, I know. A lot of the people that are either vegetarian or vegan still miss some of those old flavors that we were raised with, and so it's a nice way to be reminiscent of the old days. So this is vegan Worcestershire sauce. I didn't see as much of this in other recipes. I'm adding this because it's what I would sometimes eat with my steak. Could backfire miserably, but we'll see. I've never made this, so we're all in this together. I've got a nice little combination of spices here. We've got some smoked paprika, some garlic powder, onion powder, and black pepper. So I'm adding a little bit of Dijon mustard. And another thing I'm adding that is optional is a little bit of this Better Than Beef bouillon. And then finally, liquid smoke. Super potent, only need a little bit, 1 little drop, and it's like exploding with flavor. So don't overdo it with the liquid smoke, you will regret it. Before we add our Vital Wheat gluten, we're gonna blend this together into a nice smooth paste. Let's see what we got. Ooh, wow. It's definitely a powerful smell. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, oh my God, this is gonna be so overly flavored. So it's okay if it feels a little intense because it's all gonna come together once we add in the Vital Wheat gluten. Okay, so now we're gonna get our mixture into this bowl. As you can see, it's pretty liquidy, which is good. The true test of this recipe would be my grandfather. He used to get me steak every Sunday when I would come over. Since I'm sort of culminating a bunch of different vegan steak recipes that I've found online, I'm gonna be really careful with the amount of Vital Wheat gluten I put in because there's no going back. So I'm gonna start with a little under 1 cup and slowly add in at a time. All right, she's already getting a little bit more meaty. If you don't look at vegan food as the worst version of the original thing and instead think about how creative you can get, it's just fun. All right, I'm gonna go in there with my hands now. Make sure I get all of that Vital Wheat gluten in there. Wow, look at this. It's already like a meaty thing. The one thing I've seen across the board is that people knead this pretty heavily for about 3 to 4 minutes. That's what's gonna help the Vital Wheat gluten activate and firm up. Look at that. That looks pretty damn cool. I'm really excited actually. This formed together really nicely. So now what I'm gonna do is chop this in half and roll it out a little bit. Wow, the inside of it looks good too. So I'm just gonna form this into a sort of like an oblong shape with my hands. Pretty easily moldable. I'm just gonna roll it out a little bit with my rolling pin. All right. I expected it not to hold its shape as well as it has. Shame on me for doubting the process. There's one. Let's do the same with the other. All right, so now that we've got our patties formed, I let them rest for about 15 to 20 minutes. I've heard that's good for the texture, so I figured it couldn't hurt. Now what we're gonna do is wrap them in a little bit of parchment paper, and then we're gonna steam them for about 45 minutes. And while these are steaming, we're gonna go ahead and make our marinade. For the marinade, we're gonna start with 1 tablespoon of low sodium soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of low sodium vegetable stock. Then we're gonna do about 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of the vegan Worcestershire sauce, 1/2 tablespoon of maple syrup. I'm gonna add a little bit more smoked paprika, some Dijon mustard, and finally, another little drop of the very potent liquid smoke. I'll mix that up. So now I'm gonna set my marinade aside while the steaks are steaming, and then we'll move on. Wow, Wow, this already looks considerably firmer. Definitely headed in the right direction. Look at that, looks awesome. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pour a little bit of my marinade in the bottom, put one steak in there, then I'm gonna cover that a little bit with marinade. And then I'm gonna put the last one on top. I'm gonna cover that with the rest of the marinade. I'm gonna cover these up. So they're gonna marinate 30 minutes on one side, and then I'm gonna flip them over, so make sure that they get equally covered, and then we're gonna marinate them for an additional 30 minutes. All right, so our steaks are done marinating. Now it's time to cook these. So we're gonna start with this sort of grill. I'm only gonna cook this for about 2-3 minutes on either side. All right, I'm gonna try to flip this. Ooh, yeah, cool. Okay, so it's all grilled up, and now it's time for me to take a bite of this masterpiece. It looks like a steak. It's got the bounce of a steak, but also the resistance. It's definitely well done. We got a lot to process here. What I will say about it though, is the flavors come together really nicely. Is this gonna fool someone into thinking it's steak? Oh no, no. The likeness to steak is about a 4, and that's okay. Because at the end of the day, it isn't actually steak. If I gave this to my grandfather, he would ask me if this was made out of the packaging that I got a steak in. It has a delicious flavor to it. It just doesn't exactly replicate meat. Am I happy with it? Would I eat it again? I'm conflicted. I'm gonna have Rachel come in here and try this. Rachel Gajewski, everyone. Back by popular demand.
So lovely to see you in my home.
Yes, so I'm sure you have no idea what I've been cooking up today.
No, none at all.
Okay, she knows what I cooked, but she doesn't know what it tastes like. I'm gonna have you go ahead and assess this vegan steak.
Ooh, it's really pretty though. Like, you even put the little grill lines on it. Okay.
I try to give the people what they want.
Oh my gosh, this looks like one of those microwave TV dinner steaks.
It does, it looks like a Salisbury steak.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, Salisbury. Okay, I'm gonna give it a sniff first.
It's not like a tomahawk ribeye steak. The notes are hitting you?
Yes.
Great.
It looks like dog food, but hey.
She says it how it is.
Okay. It definitely doesn't taste like a steak.
No, I agree
But
with that.
it's very chewy and meaty and hearty, and I wanna douse this thing in gravy and put it on some mashed potatoes.
Yeah, of all the imitation meats, it doesn't totally hit steak as much for me, but it's imitating something. You can tell it's an imposter.
How I like it overall, just as its own entity, 6.5.
I feel like that's fair. I feel like if you're looking for a good meat substitute, this is probably a great starting point for you. First time making vegan steak, what a wild ride. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to substitute or any wacky ingredients that I should use as a vegan substitute in the future.
I'm still here.
She's still here!
What she said.
Yeah. Come on in here, Rachel.
Hey. Hello.
Hi.
You have a green thing in your tooth.
Great. To better help me assess this vegan steak, I'm gonna have Rachel come in here. Rachel, come on down. I got something for you, real special.